Alright, so we'll go ahead and select our object right now. So while holding, your right click over your object, we already been messing with this face setting here. Oops. Another cool tool that we can select now is the vertex, and selecting that vertex is going to bring out all the vertices here of your geometry, and we can go ahead and use these to further edit our character model more. So I'm sure you saw, at least for example, this character's neck is not exactly matching with the rest of the body here. Like it's too thin. We can go ahead and select these vertices depending on what angle you are. I'm on the side angle, and now I can utilize the drag, like the click and drag on these vertices. That way it's selecting all the other vertices on the rest of that side. So that's the cool thing when you're working on the side view and the front view. If you know these are the only vertices aligned here, you can just simply drag and select, and you'll select all these here. Now, the reason why I have these selected is that I can go ahead and now move them here. That way they start to actually match the neck a bit more. So again, I can go ahead and do on this side, making sure they're all being selected properly here. Nothing else is being selected. I'm now just moving them out here so they're matching. And now you're like, hey, it's not exactly matching here too much like the rest of the neck. So there's hotkeys that we can also use to hide the fill, I guess essentially the fill of your geometry, so you can see through your side here. There's these little boxes here. So normally you have the smooth shade all box selected. You can go ahead and click on the wireframe, and that will essentially show your geometry still with no shader on it, and you can actually see where the shape of your geometry is compared to your side view. So you might see me briefly go in and out of these every now and then, just to make sure I'm getting the character as accurate as I possibly can. So definitely remember these. You can do the hotkey 4, the number 4, which will be the hotkey to bring the wireframe, or pressing the number 5, which is another hotkey to bring the shape back. So definitely remember those if you want to be quicker, but they're up here if you want to use them. And another thing I'll probably be using is your smooth tool, which is the number 3 key. Click on it and it will show you a preview of the smooth of the geometry if you were to add more geometry later. And this can help you keep things simple when blocking out this character. At a certain point, I might actually just keep it like this to help me block out the rest of it, because it's starting to look, really nice as far as its form, right? We're getting that nice curve from that side of this dragon lizard creature here, and we can definitely edit it more. Let's bring up, with your vertices, you bring it up, you slide, you can, select it all. You gotta be careful, because when you're smoothing things out, it's starting to curve geometry and my vertices and the edges and everything. So definitely want to keep that in mind when you're, simply just, slide or dragging, selecting things. So you definitely want to keep in mind and definitely toggle around your different views and your perspective to make sure you're selecting things you want. So again, I can just do more editing here with my character. now that I have the smooth tool, or the smooth preview geometry on, I can just better accurately start to model out this character. And again, you know, you can click on here to see how it looks in comparison to the rest of the body, the neck. Making sure it's like, oh, it needs to be a little bit more back, more, and you know, click on your smooth shade all up here again. You know, click on these different buttons to change how it looks. Now you're starting to see like, hey, this character, I'm moving both things and I'm still not matching this area here. So another tool that we can use in modeling is once you have your model selected here, we're going to go ahead and go to Mesh Tools, and there's something called the Insert Edge Loop. So what this is going to do is actually add another edge loop around area of your geometry. So what that is, you know, you see these little loops around here, for example. That's what, you know, that's what it's going to do. It's going to add another loop, and I want to place it in between these two loops here, and it's going to give me more geometry to help me model this character. So once we have our model selected, let's go ahead and go to Insert Edge Loop. Go ahead and click on it. I suggest before clicking on it, click your number 1 key to bring back the normal geometry look, just so it'll be easier to add this loop. So again, we're gonna go ahead and hold, like you're gonna click it and hold it. And while doing that, it's just showing you where you're gonna put this loop. For us, for my model or wherever model you're working on, I'm gonna put it in between here to space it out as much as possible. Because if we put these loops too close to each other, it's gonna alter your model. So, you know, I'm gonna put it here, go back to the you know, smooth model version of model by clicking on the number 3 is going to bring back your smooth preview of your model. If you're having issues of pulling out, you know, this look, you know, you can go right click over your model, go to object mode, just so we have your normal view of it here. So right here, doesn't seem like it changed the model too much, but if you do it that edge loop too close, I want to do it here. If you input edge loop too close to another edge loop, you can actually start to create a harder edge to your object, and you might not see it here when it looks like this. Let's say you know, I insert I'll go to Mesh Tools, insert edge loop. Let's say I put it too close here. It may not look different here, but when you actually go to your actual smooth tool, or the smooth preview of your geometry, it's starting to create this hard edge. Now, if this is something you want, go ahead and do it. But for me, I don't right now. I really don't right now. So just keep that in mind when building that out. So we're gonna go ahead and again, I'll have my object selected. I'm gonna go ahead and insert edge loop, and I'm gonna put it, you know, evenly spaced out here. So once I have that, I'm gonna go ahead and go to object mode, just make things easier. Click on your, I'm sorry. Go ahead and click on the select tool to exit out of that that setting here. Hotkey for that is Q. Make things easier if you know these hotkeys. They're on their top left of the letter keys. Q, W, E, R are your important keys when it comes to switching to direction, scale, rotate, and you know, your normal mouse tool. Definitely remember them, or if you want, just click here in the side tool. All right, so now that I insert this edge loop here, I can go ahead and start to edit my character even more. So now that we have it, we can actually start, select if you're working on vertices here, like I am. If you want to remember, right mouse click over your object and go to here, vertex. And now I can start dragging. So I know generally where I'm selecting dragging because I've done it so many times, but always remember to check around that you're selecting certain areas of your model so that you know that you're editing things correctly. So just briefly placing areas here. And now that we insert that edge loop, we can start to get a proper shape of our model here. So again, we're getting that nice curve. And we can go ahead and check our front view. Everything's still in place, which is alright. So yeah, all this just takes time, a little trial and error. So definitely just take your time building this stuff up, and eventually you will get to your character. Switching between your vertices, your edges, and just moving them, selecting and moving them will help build out that character. So again, I'm doing the extrude again. You can, reminder, go to edit mesh, find extrude, and click extrude, and it'll do this for you. Whoops, it's not exactly what I wanted. So yeah, it's just the beginning stages of this model. It's gonna be a bunch of extruding. We're just building out this shape here. Another thing you want to keep in mind when building, let's say, a character that has a tail, it would be definitely best to keep the tail straight, because when it comes to rigging in the future, it'll make that process a lot easier for you, and we can discuss about that later. So we're gonna go ahead and just, as simple as this, select your faces. Those, like for me, I'm selecting these 4 faces, and I'm going to, again, mesh tools. Edit mesh, then extrude, and we're still gonna keep on pulling out areas, and using the rotate tool, move tool, the scale tool, we start to block out the shape. And another thing I haven't showed you all yet is the actual edge. Is another thing we can select on, and the edges is actually going to select the loop of your edge of your geometry. So what we're going to do is click on one, and if you want to select the rest of the loop around it, you can go to the next loop, hold shift, and double click. And what that does is select this whole loop here. Now that we have it selected, now I can go to either the move, rotate, scale, and actually start to edit it more. So I'm gonna go ahead and rotate and start to rotate it around, and scale it a little bit, and we start to shape the body a little bit more. And this is how I first started 3D. I back in high school modeled a 3D Tyrannosaurus Rex by learning someone that was modeling a Brachiosaurus. Completely different creature, but the tools that they were teaching, like the simple extruding, still applied and can apply to other creatures as well. So now that we're getting close to I'll show an example of how I'll build this tail out. Is you know, we're gonna build out a little bit here. I'm gonna start to rotate it that way. Let's see, yeah. So we want to keep this tail straight. You can build it bending down a little bit because that's how the posture of this character is. But I'm gonna build it out all the way straight because it's gonna make the rigging process a lot easier in the future, and it'll give us more of an easier time to build out. But I'm just building it briefly to what I think the length of that tail is. I think it's probably like roughly here. So after all that building out, now we're starting to get this creature going. Again, if it looks like it's going through it a little too much, you can either move this back a little bit more. That way it doesn't obstruct your vision here. It still will look normal if you're only moving it through the Z-axis, which is what we did right here. And again, you can always go back, go to your vertex. At least for this, right? I'm going to go ahead and get my vertex, and I'm sorry, not vertex, but face, and start to scale down the tail a little bit. You can use your edge to help scale down things. If you know that you're only selecting this, let's say like this only loop here, you can just simply click on the loop 2 times as well. So what I was doing is just tapering this tail here. So now while we're getting this base out here, I know it looks a little flat on the sides here. I wouldn't worry too much because what we can start to do was for this, right? You can go to your your right click, go to your edges, at least for this one, and you can go ahead and start to move those edges a little bit. So here I'm just simply gonna move these edges. I'm gonna select more of them actually, and start to actually bring them closer to the middle. That way it rounds that shape a lot more. So again, what I'm doing is clicking and holding shift to bring them plus sign, and just clicking on the other edges. So I'm doing this to help round out the model a little bit more so it doesn't look as flat as here, and we're starting to get that shape a lot better. So this is essentially the process you take to start modeling out this character. And if you want, keep things simple, there's a couple things that you can do. When it comes to building this arm, you can click on one of these faces and start, extrude, start to pull it out a little bit. So you can definitely start doing that when it comes to building out like limbs of the character. So yeah, so these are the beginning steps when it comes to building out your character by setting up your references and putting them into Maya.